5 Minutes With is brought to you by Real Estate Training Australia, equipping agents with the tools for success. All right, today we're with Phil Parker, Auction Services, 20 years plus as an auctioneer. Trained some of the best agents in Australia. That's a fair assessment.
Oh, you're pretty kind, mate. 39 years now, mate.
Shall we start again?
I started when I was 8.
Righto. I know your time's precious, so let's get straight into this. Someone new to the industry or someone that's never done an auction before? What's the biggest benefit to an agent's business in doing an auction?
Well, I always look at it this way first, mate. What's the biggest benefit to the seller? In whatever approach you have in real estate, it's always got to be about what's best for the seller. And if you do what's best for the seller, then you'll usually find that outcome will benefit the agent as well. It's pretty simple. What's best for the seller, and the best way for a seller to go is to take their property to auction.
Why is that?
Number of reasons. First reason, the competition that an auction will create. And it's competition that's the most important factor. And when you're competing in any field, it doesn't matter what field you're in, usually you'll find that records are broken. Not always, but sometimes records are broken. And I believe that every seller has got an opportunity or deserves the opportunity to have the potential to get a record price for their property. And that's why I always recommend you take your property to auction. Pretty simple.
Agents are always daunted by doing auctions though. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's like anything, Matt. It's when you're new to anything, it's a bit daunting. You just go back to remember when you were learning to drive a motor car. Doesn't matter. You've just got to get behind the wheel and you've just got to get out there, do it right. And the more you drive the car, the better you become at it, the easier it becomes. And that's the same with auctions. The more you do of them, the better you become.
What's the biggest mistake you're seeing auctions make with auctions at the moment?
Oh, there's quite a few mistakes. I think one of the first things is we're letting real estate agents loose that don't fully understand how to do them. And if you go out and you don't understand how to do them, then that becomes a problem. And the problem then filters its way down. You'll generally find that after a little while that agent will continue to make the mistakes or compound the mistakes, or they'll stop doing them altogether. But I think the number one mistake agents do is they go out into the marketplace and they treat an auction like a private treaty sale, and they actually try and find the buyer and close the thing down. My best advice I could give anyone is not to go out as a marketing agent trying to find the buyer. Your job, number one job, is to go out and find bidders. Your auctioneer's job is to find the buyer out of the bidders, not your job.
Really clear distinction there. Yeah, I think it's one of the first things you ever told me, and one of the first things that really landed was, get me bidders. I'll do the rest.
Got to have bidders. Like my question, and it's a pretty serious question. If I turned up to do an auction for any real estate agent and haven't got bidders, the question I ask them always is, why did you choose to have no one? And they go, well, I choose that. Well, who did? Someone did. I need you to explain to me why you chose to have no one, because I've got to go in and explain to your owner why there's no one out the front here today wanting to buy your property.
And so what do you think that is? What's the agent done wrong?
Number of things. They've tried to treat it like a private treaty property. They've tried to find a buyer leading in. They've then started talking numbers, and fundamentally they've eliminated the buyer. Or perhaps, the marketing that they've chosen, the photographs, the advertising. But you've got to treat your number one job as a real estate agent when you're doing auctions is to make the phone ring, generate inquiry. And it's what you do with that inquiry that'll make or break whether the auction's going to be successful or not. How quick's your follow-up? Do you do the things you say you're going to do? Do you do them when you say you're going to do them? Little things like that. I always ask a question of a real estate agent: if you did an open home on Saturday by 10 a.m. on Monday, how many points of contact have you had with the buyer? Often the answer is, 1 or 2. Well, that's just not good enough. By 10 a.m. on Monday, you should have had 6, 7, 8 or 9 points of contact with that buyer. the buyer's gold. And if you want to turn that buyer to a bidder, you've got to start to look after them. You've got to start to communicate with them. You've got to start to build trust with them.
Is that as simple as asking for an offer, or is it more about understanding and qualifying?
Well, try to find out a little bit about them first. I think you'll find people will open up a little bit more readily if they know you're genuinely showing an interest in trying to help them, instead of just trying to shut a deal down. That's what most real estate agents try and do. They just want to shut a deal down.
So the adage has always been, if you want to improve your business, do more auctions. Do you still stand by that?
Oh, 100%. Like, I've got two sayings, like, fix your follow-up and you'll fix your business, and improve your auctions and you'll improve your business. I don't care how good your business is going. If you improve what you're doing around auctions, you'll improve your business. Simple as that. And if you're finding you're doing them and you're not getting results, then you need to go back to the person that's been teaching you and ask for your money back, and go and get somebody that knows what they're doing and get that person to teach you. And if you get the right person teaching and you're making mistakes and you're not learning from those mistakes, then I think we know who the problem is.
I think that's a great place to finish the interview. Really appreciate your time today, Phil. Thanks for joining us for 5 minutes with.
Pleasure, mate. Good to see you. Bye-bye.
No worries, bud. Bye.